welcome to an episode of CW Movie Night that is all about Halloween. How the
Oh
fuck are
my
you guys?
lord.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. I was wondering how your camera was off this whole time.
Yeah, boys. How you doing tonight?
It's fucking amazing, by the way.
That's so good.
Got my Burzum shirt, which I've had for 20 years on.
Wow.
It's good. It's all good, boys. I thought it would be a great time to talk about the spooky season, and I wanted to pick a movie that Mike and Dean hadn't seen that was new to me also. So we're gonna be talking about Lords of Chaos. But before we do that, I just wanted to take a moment and how do you guys both feel about Halloween? Is it important to you guys? Like, do you do something every year? What's up, Dean?
Important? I don't know about important, but do I like it? Yeah, I like
Do you like-
Halloween.
Yeah, do you like the aesthetic of it? That's good.
Yeah, I like the vibe. The fall vibe, it's starting to get kind of Thanksgiving-ish. Right?
Yeah.
The trees are starting to change. The colors of the grass and the trees are different, and
Yeah.
the weather starts getting nicer. I mean,
That-
down here in Texas, it's still like fucking 90 degrees, but usually by October 31st, it gets real cold. It gets hot again right after, but it's still nice.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
considerably nicer at night. So instead of 80-degree nights, it's like 70, which is really
Yeah.
sweet. And start driving with the windows down.
But how about so you're not are you a big horror movie guy or not really?
Not really. I don't dislike horror. It's just not my go-to.
I feel like I crush 20 every October. How about you, you Mike? Like I gotta watch most of the Friday the 13th every year in October. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think I'm similar to Dean in turn. I just saw that.
Fucking Baptist's comment is legendary.
Wow. Wait, let me go get my sunglasses and my hat and I'll sit in my truck.
You're a tiki torch.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Jesus. Anyways, back on topic. God damn it, Badfish. Yeah, I'm a lot like Dean when it comes to Halloween. I love Halloween, but I never really got deep into the horror stuff. I enjoyed some of the classics, but it's never really been my thing. But yeah, man, stages of Halloween, obviously loved it growing up. And then, when you hit like college years, to go and hit the bars, everyone's dressing up and you got, all the young ladies in the skimpiest Halloween costumes you can get, right? And then so you get all that, and then it age into, having a kid, and that was awesome, and now it's kind of getting past that. We're just talking with my wife today that my daughter's 15, so she's kind of out of trick-or-treating and dressing up. So we're sitting here like, what are we supposed to do on Halloween now? So we feel we're too old to go dress up at the bars, right? But the kid's too old to go trick-or-treating, so now what are we
Pass
gonna
out
do?
candy.
Where we sit, we don't get anybody to come up to the house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dead.
It's actually
disappointing.
it's kind of crazy. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I rarely see trick-or-treaters now. When I was a kid, dude, it was like the thing. Everybody was walking the streets, people, traveling groups.
Yeah, it's still a big thing here. It's just like I said, just where our house is located, it's not the best location to get kids walking up the street and up to the house. But we would always go kind of to the neighborhood across the street from us, and I mean, it's some of the years it was on the verge of like the scenes from like the 80s, right? When you see E.T. or something or Stranger Things, and it's just
Stranger
massive
Things.
kids. Yeah,
That's
it's
that
still like
was the
that in the right
vibe.
areas.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I never see trick-or-treaters now. And I don't
That's
know if
crazy.
it's just like people just like are afraid to go out, or like people aren't as like neighborly anymore. I don't know, but the
Yeah.
vibe has totally shifted.
Well, there's all those urban legends of like people putting razor blades in candy and all that. And apparently that's all traced back to like one guy who purposely attacked his nephew like in the 70s. And it spawned a whole like industry of scanning treat bags for
Yeah.
projectiles and stuff.
Manny,
Manny says,
some yeah.
Yeah.
D,
Dean,
come to my
come out
house.
to our
follow
house.
the
Yeah.
nine.
You know what? That could be fun, dude. I like this year is the first year I'm gonna actually have like kids coming to the front door. I have no idea what kind of numbers to expect.
Hmm.
I've been in
Yeah.
condos until this year, so that's strictly prohibited in most condos. Yeah.
Yeah, Manny, send me a message on Facebook.
Yeah, Chris, just make sure you overbuy the candy because you don't want to be the guy that runs out.
Yeah. That's
A haunted
yeah, that's a
house
bad
across the
look.
street, like an actual haunted house, or like a uh, tourist spot haunted
Dean,
house.
there's no actual haunted houses, bro. It's okay. You can fucking go.
I don't know, dude. I was thinking wild stuff.
You've seen some ghosts? I think you have to tell us about that before we even move
Yeah,
on.
we've had ghosts. We've talked about ghosts on Manny's old show, the
Oh, yeah.
Boogie Manny. It was Creeps Are Us. Okay, also, real quick, that fucking song goes so hard. Like the real song. Dude, you listen to it and you're just like, oh my God, it's like a literal work of art. You're just like, this
Yeah,
is
it's Bach,
so
bro.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. But come on, give me one real ghost story, Dean. You've said you talked about it on Manny's show, like truncated version.
Yeah, so I personally haven't seen anything, but my family has seen some stuff while like I was in the house. But my favorite one is my mom was asleep. Um she was with my dad. They were in bed. And it was like real early in the morning, like on a weekend. And she was asleep with her back facing the wall. So she was facing my dad. And she said that she started getting tapped on the shoulder. And we were pretty little at the time, maybe like 5 or 6 for me. So my siblings were a little older. I'm the youngest. So like all of us under 15. So we we're pretty little. And she thought it was one of us and it was real early and it was like the weekend. So she was just like, oh my God, please just let me sleep. Like, we don't have to be up early today.
Right?
And she kept getting tapped on the shoulder and she was just kind of like, let me sleep, let me sleep. And then she said all of a sudden she got pushed like clear to the other side of the bed, like almost like hitting, like into my dad. And it pissed her off. Like, what the fuck? Like, who do you think you are? And she said she, like, jumped out of bed. Like, what? Like, what do you want? And she was like, nobody was there. And she was like, I was so fucking scared. She was like, I faced the wall and, like, put her back up against my dad, like, as far as she could go, and she's like, I just like had the covers over me and like was just like watching like what the fuck just happened. Like, so
What
that
I would pay for such an experience. I don't know.
right, dude.
That's
So that's, I mean, that's a firsthand, my mom's not one to just make shit up.
Mike, you've never had a ghost story, right?
No, I don't think I have anything good. No.
Yeah, well, it should be pretty fucking rare. I'm sorry, I've dropped 2 F-bombs in the first 10 minutes.
What do I say? I have a really interesting one. It's not really ghostly, but I could tell
Yeah.
it again.
Okay.
If Mike's not going to share.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to share. I'm not trying to be,
This was, man, I must have been, I'm 36 now, so maybe 28, 27, 28, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I was at a party with my friends, Joe and Corey. Joe Chet Beeks, one of the Patreonies. Shout out Jobin. And we were just at this party Corey wanted to go to. He was trying to hit on some girl, and we were like, yeah, whatever. So
As you
we
do.
went. And he was inside getting blitzed out of his mind doing karaoke, and everybody was having fun. It was real loud, and people suck at karaoke, so we were like, let's just go outside. So me and Joe were outside in the street, and there was this real cute girl out there. So now it's like anyone's race, right? So
Spooky.
me and Joe are talking to her, right? Each one of us trying to get a little further ahead than the other. And, we just start talking to her, and it's late, like 3, 4 in the morning. Dead quiet outside. Just not a sound. And it's like deep in a neighborhood, so there's no like cars, no highway noise, nothing. And we're just like, oh, like, what are you into? And she's, rattling off her interests. And then she's like, well, actually, I'm like really into demonology. Not the fucking second the word left her mouth, every tree in the fucking vicinity exploded with birds. Caw, caw, caw. And like, fuck, we were like, what the fuck? And me and Joe looked at each other. We were like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, we're both pretty religious. And we were like, we don't fuck with, people into demonology. And two, that was like a clear sign, like, let's get out of here. So we had to like drag Corey out of the party. We were like, we're fucking leaving right now.
It's pretty good.
It was
synced up.
crazy, dude.
I just, I want one of those experiences so bad, but it hasn't happened to me yet. I'm challenging any ghosts or demons out there. Y'all can go to hell. I don't like you, and you should do something to scare me. I would appreciate it.
Be careful what you wish for, buddy. You don't want to invite that kind of stuff into your house.
I mean, I've tried, and they refuse to accept my invitation time and time
They're
again.
scared of him.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe you're chosen.
I don't know what it is, but yeah,
Blood, dude. You just gotta accept it. It's a free gift.
dude, so this is an actual picture of a burning church on this T-shirt.
Yeah.
from the
Also,
movie.
by the way, Chris was like, dude.
This is why I'm here.
Chris was like, bro, you gotta watch the movie. You're gonna love it. And I'm sitting here like, what fucking part of this did he think I was?
Oh, hell yeah! All right. So we're talking about Lords of Chaos, which is a good damn time. And here you can see another church being burned from the poster. And but we're gonna get into that in just. I just want to touch real quick. I asked these two guys to we talked a little bit about movies, but like I was like, what do you actually watch around Halloween? And Dean gave me some of these. What's the deal with Tim Burton? Dean, is he your favorite spooky season director?
Yeah, just like the overall style. Man, Coraline is such a good movie. The overall style, the work that goes into those movies is just like you watch it and you're just like just the sheer amount of manpower it takes to make like even a single frame of these movies is always so cool. While you're watching it, you're just like awestruck. In fact, there's a museum down the street from me, and they had the Tim Burton exhibit, and so I got to see a lot of the sets and the puppets, and they're huge. Like you think like, oh, we play with like action figures, like a 6-inch thing. No, Jack Skellington is like 15 inches tall. And then, some of the puppets are even bigger. And so the sets have to be even bigger than that. And so it kind of put it into perspective, like, holy shit. And just like they're spooky, but they're fun. I don't like being scared, right? It's like eating spicy food. Like, why am I punishing myself?
Wow.
But these are just spooky enough that they're fun and they're not like stressing me out, And Tim Burton has really, really great movies. I really love Corpse Bride.
Do you think somebody, like don't like being scared, don't like spicy food? I live for both. I wish I could be afraid of a horror movie. I would pay to feel fear from a film. It's just not possible.
Yeah. You know, the last time
Yeah.
people kept, and this was not even that long ago. I think we watched it for one of our movie reviews on a Tuesday show during
Yeah.
Halloween. Was what the hell's the name of that movie with the girl who gets her head cut off by the telephone pole? What's the name of that movie?
The telephone pole.
Is it
Is
like a
this like a
Final Destination?
No, it's like a legit horror movie. Yeah, like the brothers driving, they're like left the party, and the little sister's like this weird little. She looks kind of weird, and she like sticks her head out the window, and he clips her head on a telephone pole, and it cuts it off, and he gets home, and her yeah, heredity hereditary.
I think it's Hereditary, yeah, but you got
Yeah,
it, Pedro. Yeah.
um, and like everybody, dude. For years, people are like, "It's the fucking scariest movie on the
Okay,
planet." Like,
pause. So like obviously like I wouldn't even bring this comment up if it wasn't Fern, but you know, you talked about somebody getting their head cut off and Fern's just like sleepy all over.
that's a great movie too. I thought that
Wait,
also Tim
telephone
Burton.
pole?
Yeah. Good one, Fern.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
Oh
everybody
gosh.
hyped this movie up like it's the fucking. It's like when people like when Poltergeist first came out, or like the Amityville horror movies, or um,
Or Blair Witch?
Yeah.
yeah, it was like culturally like a thing, and
Right.
I like made it a point. I was like, I don't want to watch it. That sounds scary. The trailer looks scary, but we were doing it for the show. It's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So I was by myself. It was like 3 a.m. I turned off all the lights. I was so fucking bored out of my mind. I was like, this movie fucking sucks, dude. So it's been a while since I've been like legitimately scared, but there's some movies out there that like the Amityville horror, like those old classic horror movies.
Yeah.
Um, uh, uh, The Exorcist is crazy scary.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
one. Holds up.
I feel like those movies, like back in the day, like real old horror movies. Now it's more of like shock and awe, like something like Saw or something where it's like gory and bloody for
Yeah.
shock value. But
It's
it's
not
not
as
like action.
cerebral. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Um, yeah, I think me and well, we're all about the same age. I think we grew up in like a time where it was like actual scary movies, like especially as kids, right? Growing up seeing these things. Because my mom loves fucking scary movies, so it's like I saw all of them, growing up, and
Yeah.
maybe now I'm just like I think I'm gonna get scared, and then I watch it, I'm like, this is dumb.
They don't make them like they used to. On that subject, here's a couple of Mike's picks. What's the deal with these?
Yeah, so like kind of like what Dean was saying, right? I don't really get into the full on horror stuff either. But yeah, just looking at what I picked, I mean, to me, The Crow's a classic. I mean, I think it is a near perfect movie, certainly a perfect '90s movie. I watch it every year on Halloween or just about the
Nice.
Halloween, depending on the day, and I love that movie so much. Monster Squad was one that I watched growing up when I was a little kid. Like it was something that was always on TV on like USA or something like that. So it was just always on, and it was actually the first again, I guess we'll call it a horror movie that I watched with my kid when she was probably a little too young to watch these things. She was maybe 5. But mom was out of town, and it was October something, and we were bored and we wanted to try and find something scary, and it's hard to find something scary, for a 5-year-old. So I put this on, having fond memories, and luckily, the inappropriate stuff, she was still too young to really grasp the whole, sacrificing a virgin aspect of the story. But
Right.
so that's classic for me growing up. And I mean, come on, Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, watch that every year at some point. I mean, there's nothing to say about that. It's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Monster Squad's one of those ones where I saw it once, like a while, like probably like 20 years ago, and haven't gone back to it. But you know, it's like it's cool to sort of see like the vaguely the Universal monster designs
Yeah.
like done like they were updated like a reboot design, but it was like mid 80s, right? Like when did
Yeah.
that come out? Like 85 or something.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
sounds about
like
right.
and it's so it's like you get to see like how those designs would be interpreted like with the creature effects that were going on at the time versus now. And you know, big surprise, it's like that feels like the reimagining of the like old school Universal monsters, whereas now it's just CGI monstrosities and stuff like that. But
And that
Do
movie
you guys
is
yeah,
remember?
everything that an 80s movie is too. You know, I mean, it's if you think
yeah,
of like the Goonies or something. I mean, this is the Goonies, but you know, with horror. I mean,
Yeah,
it's where I said the Crow to me is like a perfect 90s movie. Monster Squad, maybe not perfect, but is just a classic 80s feel to it.
I
yeah.
got this confused with Little Monsters with Howie
Oh,
Mandel. Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah, that's a good
Or
one
like,
too.
yeah, something like that, or like the Ernest movies used to go so hard because they were like silly enough that kids can watch it, but also like kind of not
Yeah.
scary, but like spooky, like maybe like what's the movie with the three witches? They
Hocus
just did a
Pocus.
sequel,
Hocus
Hocus
Pocus, yeah.
Pocus, where it's like there's like spooky elements, but it's still fun
It's
and
just
enjoyable to
fun. Yeah.
watch. Something maybe like Drop Dead Fred or something. So that's not really
Yeah,
horror,
Yeah.
but like in the vein, like those like '90s classic.
right.
Man, they really don't make them like they used to. Or
No,
maybe
they
we're
Yeah.
don't.
just old and cynical and
Yeah.
shitty.
No, they really don't. And here's the couple that I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do Trick or Treat last here. Obviously, the thing it's you know it's not really a Halloween movie, but it's just like dripping in atmosphere and paranoia and horror, and it's I it's definitely my favorite John Carpenter film. And like there's
Bro.
I just don't know if there's anything bad you can say about it. And also like rest in peace to Drew Struzan, who drew that beautiful poster over one night. And I actually he died last week. And weirdly coincidentally,
Oh,
I have an article in the current issue of Heavy Metal issue 3 about his process making this poster. And he died like the week after that came out. But check that out if you can find it on newsstands. But but dude, that movie is like I could rewatch it a million times. When we were talking about they're less cerebral now, like sure there's a lot of graphic like creature effects in that, but half the movie is just guys being paranoid about each other and like trying to figure out which one is the creature and like just
yeah.
giving mean mugging each other and it's just like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and
It's a
you're
great
trying
time.
to figure it out along with them because I mean,
Yeah.
even at the end of the movie, it's still debated today.
Exactly. And
Did either of
like
you guys?
yeah.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
just forgive me for interrupting your picks here,
Yeah.
but did you either of you guys seen Cabin in the Woods? It
Isn't that
came out.
more
I'm
of
gonna.
like a almost like a comedy? Or am I
No,
thinking of
no,
something else?
It was
it's a horror movie. With what's the guy's name? Thor, I think it is.
Is
The
that where
Hemsworth guy.
they were like unknowingly like filming people in a cabin and like trying to
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like an experiment, right?
Yeah,
Or
that I
something.
thought
Yeah.
was pretty good because
Yeah.
it tried to do something new, right? And like you said, a little more cerebral,
Hmm.
make you think like kind of like what the hell's going on
Yeah.
versus just the overuse of
Yeah.
blood and horror.
I love that. I love that because it's like I'm not gonna check, but I bet you that movie's at least 15 years old. And it's like, yeah, they
Yeah.
you know, they tried something new 15 years ago, those guys. But and then obviously Friday the 13th part 1, if you're it's so great to introduce someone to like, if Jason's in the pop culture zeitgeist, but like if someone has heard of the character but hasn't seen these films, it's so great to introduce someone to the franchise with the first movie because it's got the lovely fake out at the ending where it's not actually Jason, it's his mother going around killing camp counselors. Spoiler alert for like a 50-year-old movie. But here Pedro says, fun fact, he saw the thing in theaters in 1986 in 1983 at 6 years old. Gosh,
That's
a
good
lot.
parenting. Bravo.
Yeah, yeah. And then the last one I wanted to mention is Trick or Treat. Now this is sort of been buried because there's like a newer, worse horror movie called Trick or Treat with like an R apostrophe. So like this one really took a SEO hit when this happened. But this is like an '86 like Satanic Panic like rock movie, not a little more comedy and horror than the movie we're talking about today. But like
Are
it's
the
like
two Trick or Treats related
no,
at
this
all?
is
See, I thought the new one was like a remake. I haven't seen either one,
no.
but I
No,
knew of
this
this
one
one.
this one is actually like you know how like in the like early 80s they were saying like Ozzy was like putting like secret satanic messages in his
Yep.
song. If you play them backwards, there'd be all these messages and stuff. It's a play on that idea where like a band actually did put like demonic spells into the record and like it actually like unleashes the demonic forces, and Ozzy has a cameo in it and Gene Simmons has a cameo in it, and
Oh wow.
the
Wow.
all the songs are done by Fastway, and like the soundtrack just kicks ass. It's just such a generic 80s like hair metal soundtrack, and like it it all takes place at a high school while demons are being unleashed. It's a great time if you can find it. It's sort of
I
hard
would
to get
check
a
that
hold
out.
of. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for that. I want to get into this movie a little bit unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about first.
I was just gonna do some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Like the original Evil Dead. Um,
Which is featured in Lords of Chaos actually.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, and it's like because the series turned into like a whole other thing, but like the original movie was meant to be a horror movie, and uh, it kind of got this weird cult following, and it's very campy. But
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that. I watched that in like middle school, and it was kind of
yeah.
my segue into like Army of Darkness and stuff like that, obviously, because the sequels and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Return of the Living Dead, 1985. It's kind of that sweet spot of like kind of silly, but definitely horror, very graphic, especially for 85.
Yeah, that's such a good
Um,
movie.
Boogie Manny, shout out Boogie Manny again. We did a watch party stream on his channel. So if you start the movie, like when we started, we watched it and you could see our live reaction. I think half the movie, I'm just like, my mouth is open because I'm just like,
Oh,
holy shit, this is incredible. It was so
that was your
fun.
first time. That was your first time seeing that, huh?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
because I always attribute it to like, those old George A. Romero movies, like black and white, and they're
Yeah.
kind of silly. And
Yeah.
so I just never really, we watched them as kids, like I said, like middle school, like, my cousins were into that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they were just kind of, at the time it was like black and white movie. Why are we doing this? Like, this is so old, we thought we knew better. But yeah, going back and revisiting those, like, oh, okay, I get it. There's a reason why
Right.
people hold them in such high regard.
Right.
Being that we're all kind of like you said, being close to the same age, what did you guys think of the Scream franchise when it started? Because that was a huge thing. Yeah, I think I was in high
Bro.
school when it came out, and that just
That
blew
was
up.
massive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when it came out on like VHS. It was like everybody came over. It was like
yeah.
we rented Scream. Everybody come watch it, and like we had like a huge watch party. And yeah, I was pretty young. I don't remember what year that came out, but I remember being really afraid of it.
94, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I must have
Yeah.
been like 5.
Yeah.
And yeah, like when she gets like fucking cut in half by the garage door, and I'm in the house. Like,
And that was
you
such a huge thing, right? They sold Drew Barrymore as being the star of the movie, and they killed her in the first 10 minutes of the film. It's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
That's
It
how
was
you
a
do
great
it.
movie.
I
Good
have
twist to
never
it, too.
I've never seen any of the Scream movies. So there's that. But
Wow,
I know when
you gotta
I know
watch
when the
at
Really?
least the first.
yeah.
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 At least the first movie. It gets
I've seen
dumb
s-
after that.
I've seen Scary Movie 1, which is an honorable mention
Classic.
for that's part of it. Yeah. All right,
Um,
guys. Let's unless you got something else, Dean, let's talk about this
I was just gonna say you brought up John Carpenter in the mouth of, into the Mouth of Madness. That's
Right.
cerebral experience. I don't know. What would you call that? I don't know if you would call it horror, but it's like definitely weird.
A little bit
Never
of a
seen that.
psychological thriller.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cerebral like, oh, what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, boys, let's do it. Let's pick apart the 90s 90s Norway here with the synopsis of Lords of Chaos. So this is all about like how a subgenre of metal music got started. So it's a teenager's quest to launch Norwegian black metal in Oslo in the early 90s, and it results in a lot of violence, heartbreak, sadness, and arson. And let's see with
Murder.
yeah, let's not forget a few murders. And we're gonna swing over to our good buddy John, who's gonna tell us a little bit about the critical reception of this movie.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm here to give you the IMDb and Rotten Tomato score on Lords of Chaos, released in 2018. Let's kick it off with IMDb. This film got 6.6 out of 10 with 22,000 reviews. We got a Rotten Tomato score of 73% on the tomato meter and 61% on the popcorn meter. Hope you enjoyed the film. We're kicking it back to you guys in the studio. All the best and have a safe Halloween. Take care.
All right, so this is, it's very mediocre. It is generally considered to be a positive viewing experience. I like. Did you like? So, how did you guys feel? Is this a mildly entertaining film, or is it? How do you feel about it?
Um, it's. I would definitely rate this higher, maybe like an 80.
Okay.
It was a
Nice.
great watch. It's a slow. It starts off pretty slow. Actually, it's kind of weird because like the pacing is crazy fast, right? Like it introduces him, and then next thing you know, he's like already famous. You're like, what the? I thought this was gonna be like putting the band together or something. Like I wasn't really sure what to experience, so that felt kind of rushed to me. But there's not a lot of like, I don't want to say action. It's just a lot of people walking around talking, so that's kind of slow. But I mean, everything is so intentional that you don't feel bored. Like everything he says, there's a reason why he's saying it, and there's a reason why they're showing it. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time watching this movie.
Nice.
I was not, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was kind of horror-esque, and then you're like, well, it's more true crime, and then I got really excited because I love true crime stuff. But it's presented in a way that doesn't feel like true crime. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was watching. So I really enjoyed it.
All right, Mike. So, time to rain on the parade, brother. What do you think of this thing?
No, and no rain, right? So Chris asked me. I told him I watched it. He's like, "What do you think?" And he obviously wanted to keep the real opinions to the show. But I told him, I said it's fine, right? So, but really, my thinking of that was it wasn't what I expected. I thought this was going to be more of in line with like a horror film,
Yeah.
just based on the way Chris was like, "Let's do this for Halloween," blah blah blah. And I had no clue what it was. I was expecting more of that. So I'm gonna say disappointment, and it's not really disappointment, but I guess I expected that. So when I didn't get that, I was kind of like, wait, what are we watching, right? But the film itself, to Dean's point, it's a good film. It's really well done. It is good. I just had different expectations of what I was
Right.
about to experience, And
Okay.
I will say, with about 20 minutes left, I actually paused it and I said, wait a minute. Is this a true story? Because it all started to sound really familiar, right? And again, so, this takes place in the 90s. I was a part of all that, the death metal era and the grunge and all that. So while I never got into the hard death metal, but I was aware of, again, on the softer side, considering like Metallica and Megadeth and all that stuff. So this all felt really familiar. I'm like, wait, was this real? So I had to go look it up and realize that it was based kind of on true stories. I'm like, motherfucker. And then I
Dude.
suddenly got a lot more interested.
It's very accurate to what actually happened. Like very like I think I'm not 100% sure. I think they used the actual building that was that record store cuz it's like
Wow.
identical. It's identical, man.
Yeah.
And like some like and I know there's not a lot of gore and kills, but like I think the way the violence is presented is like extremely effective in this movie. Like I just like I was
Oh,
had a
yeah.
visceral reaction to like everything. And I
Everything.
because
yeah.
it felt real, right? It wasn't over
Yeah.
the top. Everything that was done is felt exactly what it would look and feel like if it was done. You don't
Yeah.
have those huge blood splatter moments and stuff, which
Yeah.
made for some creepy moments.
All right. Well, okay, so just to provide a little context, this movie is mostly about like a couple bands that black metal bands that started in Norway. One's called Mayhem and the other's called Burzum, which is basically just one guy. And like just for a little bit of context, like when I was like in high school in like grade 10, like maybe like 2005, like these guys were legends, bro. Like you didn't realize they were just dumb kids. Like you didn't understand that, and this movie does a great job of presenting it
Yeah,
that way.
that was such a weird thing for me
Yeah.
because like these guys are, in bands. They're renting music studios. They own record stores.
But they're like
Um,
19, 20 years old.
Yeah,
Right,
but
they're
they're
still
like,
living with
Mom,
their
I'm gonna go
parents."
out, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are they still living with their parents? Like,
Yeah.
they don't feel
Well,
like adults, but it's like they're doing stuff that it's like,
Yeah. Well,
get your own
yeah,
fucking apartment. What the hell?
exactly. Like, let's roll into it a little bit. So, like, it starts off like trying to paint a picture of late 80s Norway, and it's like just kind of goofy. And then you get introduced to our lead here, who it's like I watched this movie twice, and I literally, like, since a teenager, I only knew this guy as Euronymous, and I has still not committed his real name to memory after watching the film twice.
That's Rory,
like,
right?
yeah.
Rory Culkin,
Yeah,
the
Rory
lesser
Culkin-
known of the Culkin
Kieran.
boys.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
Something.
So
It's got a weird first name.
So like what I really appreciate is like when it's doing the screen grabs, you can see like he's got an Evil Dead poster in the back there, like Motorhead. Yeah, there's his room's real well decorated, and it starts with this internal monologue from him presenting his story in the past tense as if it's already over, and you get a taste that he's working on his. What's this guy's actual name, Mike? If you have the IMDb up there, because he's in his band, he's called Euronymous. That's
That's
Culkin.
Rory Culkin.
Yeah, is the character's name on
It's,
IMDb? Because the
it's
real
just
guy.
listed as Euronymous. I don't.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
that's
Yeah, he does have a real name in the movie. I don't care what.
even
it
his
is.
father is listed as Euronymous' father.
That's awesome. So like they like basically like these guys were fans of a band called Venom, which is like theoretically the first black metal band. Those guys were out of the UK and they were a little more chill, let's say. They got to it a little earlier, but they're starting their little underground band called Mayhem. They're graffitiing bus shelters and stuff, and you get the sense that they're looking for a new singer, and a guy mails in an audition tape with a dead mouse crucified in the envelope, and
As one does.
yeah, and the guy Euronymous listens to it and he's like, "That's the dang voice of an angel. We're gonna get that guy." And then they like throw the dead mouse at this wholesome family while they drive by or something. There's a lot of like normie people, nice people being like triggered by these dudes throughout this movie, just being yelled at or like just generally bothered. But good job on the period cars here.
It's funny
Right.
because you talk about normies, and
Yeah.
these guys are always portrayed in like movies or pop culture, like the outcasts, and
Yeah.
people like treat them badly, like, oh, it's these fucking people. But after watching this and finding out the true story, it's like, well, no wonder people treat you like this, because these guys set such a fucking bad example for your culture. Holy shit. Because like you think of like the punk punk isn't really the same as metal, but punk is like a counterculture kind of thing. You know, spiky hair, rivets on your shirts, jean jackets that are ripped up, and you know, people are like, "Oh, those guys are weird." And then metalheads are kind of the same, but punk is just like, I'm not gonna conform. These guys are like, I'm gonna burn it to the fucking ground and murder you. And it's like, yeah, these guys give. I had no idea about any of this.
I
So
love
learning about it, I was like, oh, I get it now. Fuck these guys.
it. So like I guess Norway, if you're 19 years old in Norway, you can afford to like buy a farm to like make records at. So like they have their little retreat, where they deck it out with all kinds of satanic goodies, and I think this guy's actually murdering wild cats and hanging them from
Yeah.
the roof.
Yeah, that
Which
was
is-
crazy.
Yeah. So, they got their Swedish singer who mailed them the Crucified Mouse, and he's crazy. And his name in the band is Dead. He's simply called Dead, and he's
Yeah.
vaguely suicidal at all times. And they go chasing a cat in the woods to literally like blast a cat with this rifle. And crazy Dead like pulls the gun up to his face there, and he encourages Euronymous to shoot him, and it doesn't happen at this point. But they're just unhinged clearly. And look at that great Christmas
I love
sweater
his
on
sweater.
Culkin.
Yeah, I love that sweater.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think he's great in this movie. There's just this blank, like bewildered stare at all kinds of stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, man, it doesn't take long for they have a party at their metal farm, and they sort of announce that the band's existence. And this is a fun scene. They play like a Dio song here while they show the debauchery of the party. It's good stuff. They didn't have that's just what you did in the late 80s, I guess. A nice bullet belt there.
Dude, that belt is so cool. I saw it a couple times in the movie. I was like, bro, that's rad.
I don't remember if it was this scene or one of the others when they were performing, but he's got like a dead cat or something in a bag, like rotting, and he like inhales the air out of the bag to get pumped for the show.
Yeah, there's another I'm pretty sure he was like burying his clothes before going on stage too at one
Yep.
part. That's good. It's good stuff. And here's the like cool metal chick photographer who becomes the main love interest for Euronymous. She first shows up at this party and smoking a cigarette as you do in 1988.
Got the teased hairdo.
Yeah. This guy in the back too with big hair, cigarette, guitar.
Why is this guitar so far down?
Doesn't even look real. It looks like cardboard.
Yeah, it looks like
I was gonna say
AI,
it
dude.
looks.
It's not AI. It's 2018. Okay, so
Yeah,
it
I
didn't
know, but
exist
it's
yet.
like if you told AI to make a guy playing a guitar, this is the kind of shit it would like too low,
Yeah,
fucking flat as shit.
yeah.
The little tuning pick. There's only like one. Look at it. Go back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just broken. It's firewood. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's stuff you're not supposed to notice. Yeah, but they take some pictures. They announce their band at this party, and they carry on. Here's Dead burying his clothes. I think I don't know what he's doing. Some crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
that's it.
And then you get basically the only live performance of the entire movie, because these guys basically think live performances are for posers and tours are for posers after a while. Like that's something they keep saying. But these guys only did a few shows in reality around this time, and like
That's why they're always struggling with money.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's where
where
the money is. Yeah.
Exactly. But this troubled young lad known as Dead. He does a lot of wild showmanship where he's cutting his arms up on stage like way too much. And
Yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, not like WWE, like little razor blade cuts. Like he's opening up his arms to the point where he should have consulted a doctor ahead of time, because I think, had he lasted a little longer, he probably would have had some serious issues from
Right? He was
from the-
spraying it all into the audience.
yeah, and you know, like you get a little bit of the vibe, and I mean, there's some great like live videos and music videos from these early black metal bands where you just like like this is so accurate. Like there's a band called Immortal where like their early 90s videos are just like maniacs like running through the woods with like wizard hats and stuff. Like it's good times, man. And then you know I tried to I'd be a little bit gentle with the screen caps here, so I don't know how YouTube handles that sort of depiction, but you know they have a guy filming in the audience, and you get that POV as he's slicing his arm up and spraying it, throwing it on the audience, basically of maniacs here. So they become infamous pretty quick, and you know they where else do they hang out but like a shawarma shop, because that's where the cool kids hang out, right? So I felt I felt like I knew them, you know.
It's no Waffle House.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have that in '88, but you know they were not big fans of American restaurant chains showing up in Norway around that time.
Did you know
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A started in Waffle House?
Is that why they have waffle fries?
I don't know, but that's where it started. And then it got so popular, they were like, we're just going to do our own thing.
Wow. And then Waffle House is still just like an insane asylum. It's crazy how that works. But adult daycare for basically. But so like you know so this guy who saw the show, you know, he's like sort of a hanger on here. He's loitering around. He comes up to them. And he's like, "Oh, look, there's Kevin there. Let's take a moment to appreciate that. Look how he's just lying back
Sweet
like that.
son.
What a lovely boy."
Yeah, he is.
But I love this scene because this guy's like, "Hey, you guys were pretty good. What's like, nice to meet you. My name's Christian." And Euronymous just walks up to him and points at his scorpion's patch. And
Scorpion's patch.
he's like, "You are not cool, brother. I'm not even talking to you. You got a scorpion's patch. That's that soft stuff. We're not into that." And you know, cut to him chucking the scorpion's patch in the garbage, and
You
he's
hate to see it.
he's into the lifestyle. You know, he's posing with his his musketeer sword and shit at home. You know, he's getting crazy. It's good. And you know, this is a
Bro.
wild scene.
I had to watch this twice because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of films that toe this line, you know,
right.
and do it well. That's not like either like cheesy or they, you know, have to like cut corners or something.
Yeah,
This was so like visceral. It was like I said, I had to watch it twice because I was like, did they really just fucking do this? It was brutal. This was crazy.
yeah,
This really set the rest of the movie, like set my expectations on what I was about to watch. Because this isn't really
Yeah.
that far into the movie, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
yeah. And
This is
So yeah, 100%. So this was the scene for me that I was expecting him to, again, I thought it was a horror film. I was expecting him to come back to life as a zombie or some shit. Like I honestly thought. So when that doesn't happen, to Dean's point, made me realize, all right, I'm not watching what I thought I was watching. What the fuck is this? Right?
nice.
Because especially because you know after that and Euronymous walks in and he kind of like sits there and he starts taking out his camera and stuff, and I honestly thought he was going to take pictures of him coming back to life, like he knew that he was a zombie or some shit, and then he didn't. I'm like,
Well-
oh, what the fuck?
Well, I think okay, first of all, this did actually happen, like almost exactly as shown. Like a little bit debatable, but I think in the movie the best thing is he comes up, looks, and then he dips back out to the convenience store to buy a camera, and then comes back before
Yeah.
calling the cops. So he's
Yeah,
got his
this-
disposable. Yeah,
I thought when Euronymous shows back up, his initial reaction is what I was expecting. Like, oh my God. And he goes out and he calls the police. And then the second he hung up on him, I was like, oh no. This is not good. And then he goes up there and starts taking pictures and staging it. And I was like, oh, this dude is like actually mental.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know, the way the movie was portraying these guys is like, oh, like fuck posers, like we're fucking metal. I thought this was going to be the point where he's like, oh, we're sick. We need to not encourage this kind of stuff. But then he leans into it. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. This is going to be fucking weird.
Yeah.
This scene was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
All
And
of
I
this
mean,
was so crazy.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, and there's, you know, there's a very good like traditionally formatted documentary that covers all the same events, and like it just how accurate and everything is even visually depicted is like shocking. And like that's also on Tubi somewhere, probably only Canadian Tubi again. But
Yeah, I think
yeah.
also this scene, I felt watching it, is very important for Euronymous' character, or I guess the actual human being, right? He's not just a character
Yeah.
in the movie. I don't think they kind of touch on it, but they don't really dive too deep into it. What like I thought they were going to, but this, and I guess I'll talk about it a little bit later when
Yeah.
we get to the moment. But this scene really carries the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
it's sort of like none of the rest probably would have happened if Dead didn't kill himself. Yeah.
yeah.
But he graphically blows his brains out with a shotgun, and Euronymous stages the pose there, gets the gun a little closer, which bold move, printing up that gun there, brother, before you call the cops.
And the knife. He grabbed it by the handle. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I guess Norway's
so,
late '80s Norway crime scene investigation was not up to scratch. I guess
Bro.
I don't know.
that was
And
my
it's all
first
it's
thought.
but it's also easy enough to say we live in this house. Yes, I've touched the knife and the gun.
True. Okay, so my
You know,
dad
Mike's
is
just
my
like-
prints are going to be everywhere.
my dad is a cop, still a cop, and specifically when I was growing up, he was a crime scene detective. So like, I always think of stuff like that, like don't touch anything, don't disturb the scene, don't put your prints anywhere, and he's touching everything, and I was like, how's he gonna explain this? And then I was like, oh well, if he fucking lives there, his prints would be on everything. But yeah, I mean, you would really have to have a pretty good lawyer.
Yeah, they just
But,
skip right over that. Yeah, they don't
yeah.
show any of the police investigation of this suicide or anything. But
Yeah,
you know,
I thought it was going to turn into a whole thing, and then it's
Yeah.
like it's over. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, but you know, a little bit later, you know, Euronymous implies to his bandmates that he's made little necklaces out of pieces of Dead's skull and gives it to them, and that sends their bass player packing. He's like, it's too much for me, man. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the correct response,
Yeah.
yeah.
because I don't even know if his body is still in the attic at this point,
I don't think it is. I think this is later on.
because he calls them
yeah.
like the movie shot kind of, like I said, kind of quick. So it's like he's in the room, and then the next thing he calls them is like, "Hey, he killed himself," and they show up. So it's like, is he
Yeah.
like giving pieces of his fucking bone when he's still there? The cops haven't even gotten there yet, but
I think it
Okay.
was later, but they don't, you know, they sort of skip over that piece. But then we got a little more internal monologue where Euronymous talks about opening up his record store. His pops paid for it basically, or something like that, and it's
Yeah.
just this delightful. You know, he's got bootleg VHS in there and all kinds of metal albums and like Mad Magazine. Like it's just the type of place I would have loved in the mid '90s. You know, like this is a little earlier than that, but
yeah,
it's
it's
just got
like a
all the good stuff.
legit record store.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And,
feel like a movie set. You know what I mean? It feels like a real, tangible place.
Yeah. And you know, there's plenty of pictures of the genuine article, and it looks spot on, man. And it's just Like I don't know how, like it's crazy there'd be enough content to fill such a place back then. But you know, they cover this their the little store launch here, and he says that he's got his own label, so he's gonna start releasing his own music on there too. And you know, she's all about it, you know. She's into that. And he's got a little cellar underneath where he got a little satanic wine cellar underneath the record store here, where he has like a little core group of friends that he calls the Black Circle. They plan their misgivings down in the basement of the record store. Pretty fun stuff.
It's funny watching this movie in the lens of 2025. But like you said, this was late 80s
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
when this stuff really wasn't like a thing, because he kind of created this whole genre. But like the Black Circle, that sounds so cliche and silly today.
Yeah.
But back then it was like actual edge, like, oh my God, the Black Circle. Like, don't go near those guys. You know, it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. You know, you got a couple delightful Norwegian vistas in this movie. Like, you know, that road probably, you know, that looks like it's probably the same as it looked like 80 years ago, much less 40 years ago. So, like, I'm sure a lot of this stuff didn't need much updating. Just get the old car in the shot there. But, you know, it's a crazy road. And then Christian, the poser with the scorpion patch, turns back up, and he's turned his life around. And now he's a proper satanic black metal fan, and you know, he wants to impress Euronymous, and like he's looking for the good stuff in the store, and he makes a reasonable selection, and they get to know each other a little bit, and there's so many instances of Coca-Cola bottles in this movie that it must have been like some sponsorship deal with Vice, but you know, looking back, like I wonder if they were happy with their association with this film, you know, like these devil guys are always drinking Coca-Cola. They just love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like if you're watching for it, it's in like basically every scene. It's crazy. But yeah, Christian gets accepted into the Black Circle, and he's posing in the basement there. And I got a shirt which has this real picture on the back of it, which is crazy because it's very
Really?
accurate. Yeah,
Wow.
it's very accurate. And you know, he presents Euronymous with his new sweet demo tape called Burzum. And I love this scene. Euronymous is, you know, he's sleeping in the record store above the little office there, and he plays this demo, and he just has to run out into the street in his underpants. He loves it so much, and like,
Right, because he was just sleeping in his car outside.
yeah, and she yells at this Salvation Army lady. This is good stuff, man. He's like, this is amazing. You know that new sound you're looking for? I found it. Yeah, but yeah, and
That was a good pull.
yeah, and it's like what I do appreciate about this movie is like the whole story of these two bands is so fun. It's so like fun is the bad word for it, but like it's engaging and dynamic. But like I as a fan of this music, I know that it's not palatable to the masses, and this movie does a great job of like sparing the audience having to listen to more than 30 seconds of black metal for the whole time, because you don't want to lose them. Like you have to sort of understand what it is, but you don't want to like you want to make sure it's still a movie for the audience. Right? But
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, like, but you know, Christian's all about it. He says his parents will pay for them to rent some studio time and record this demo properly, and it's going to get released through Euronymous' label, which I think is called Death Like Silence Records or something, and that's something like that from his store. And you know, they show them in the studio yelling at some old ladies and scaring them. Maybe that was a church choir that was just in there doing a recording or something. And they buy some studio time and misuse it with poor acoustic techniques.
Yeah, he says one mic pointed to the ceiling, and the engineer's like, "It's gonna sound terrible." He's like, "That's the point."
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know. Something amuses me. Like, he just yells stuff at these old ladies that you'd probably get a ticket for these days. Like it's just things ain't what they used to be. But yeah, they make progress with the band. They're partying. Uh, you get a little bit of a sense that they're getting a little more unhinged. They're smashing car windows and stuff, drunk as hell. Like it's just it's a bad time. They're getting they're developing some groupies and stuff like that. In the Black Circle den, and I don't know,
Was that the
guys.
same
Like,
girl?
yeah, she's the
is love
photographer.
interest? Okay,
Yeah.
that confused me.
She just wants to hang out with them. They're cool dudes.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, like you get to see that Christian's becoming a little more part of their group. He starts going by the name Varg instead of Christian because, that was his Christian was his slave name basically.
Also, really quick,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just for the sake of the movie, but not a fucking single accent to be heard. I was like, these guys would be talking like Jurgen, Vergen, Hargen, Durgen, and like
Yeah.
they're just like,
Just
hey,
like
what's
that.
up, Varg?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
you
what
just-
the fuck?
That's the thing, right? They're trying to bring this story to general American audiences, and I don't know how I missed it for like 7 years or whatever, however long this has been out. Like I said, produced by Vice, which I don't even know if they have an entertainment division anymore. But yeah, they eventually get around to releasing Christian's Burism record, and the cover is just solid black, which is pretty great. That's like the Spinal Tap thing. Like it's the blackest black you could possibly have. Yeah, and they get to talking like we need some good promotion, and Euronymous is like, yeah, why don't you like think of something? And he's like, I thought that was your job. You're the record label. So Varg takes things into his own hands, and he goes and finds like a 1,400-year-old church and sets it on fire.
Bro, that
And
broke my
Euronymous
heart.
and
It's
Euronymous
such
watches
a
it
beautiful building.
in from the shawarma shop.
While drinking his Coke.
Yeah, exactly. There it is again. But Dean, the reason you can, I'm pretty sure the reason you can, what you're looking at here in the film is that church was rebuilt as accurately as physically possible, and they probably used that as like their pre-existing one in the movie because like they like those nerds got in there and like recreated it as best they could. But
Yeah, I get. Yeah. Well, okay. One, it's a church, so obviously I don't want it to burn to the ground. But also, like, there's a part of me as a human being that appreciates things that came before. And it's like this church has been standing for 1,400 years, or this building. Let's just say it was, anything else. And you make some stupid little fucking CD and you're going to burn it down. It's just so insulting. Like I said, this didn't even have to be a church. It could have been anything. And it's like, you fucking selfish piece of shit.
well,
Like-
there's sheds in Norway that are as old as that church, so like,
Right.
pick your target, right?
But even that, like, it's like, bro, that shit's been there longer than your fucking family lineage has been in the area. And like, oh, it's just so like insulting. Like it's a human fundamental like thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's So, and you're not supposed to like these guys. At least I don't think. I didn't. Watching these movies, they're not good people. It's not like they're like manipulated teenagers. They're like
Right.
clear, like making these decisions on their own. They're not being brainwashed by anyone but themselves into this delusion, which we'll get to the scene. But when they do the interview with the
Oh
with
yeah.
the journalist, I love that scene so much. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
we're
these-
getting there.
these guys are completely responsible for everything that happened to them. And yeah, I really didn't like this scene.
Dude. Okay, so yeah, so like basically Burzum's the new hotness and Mayhem's old hat, and the new Burzum record comes out with a picture of the burned church on it, which this is a real album cover, by the way. This is what it actually looks like. And it came with matches packed in, as you can see on the front there, which is
Wow.
just unhinged. But Euronymous don't like that Burzum's taking a lot of his street cred, and he wants to renegotiate. He wants his money back for the recording. He's like, "Where's my money? We sold a lot of records." And Varg convinces him that they should go burn a church together, to
What?
like solidify their friendship.
Maybe you'll have some insight to this,
Yeah.
Chris, but how much is a lot of albums?
Oh,
this is
oh,
a
I mean,
very
How much do you think they spent on the?
800,
Yeah, probably.
1,000.
I mean, they were shipping them around it's like, but I mean, I don't think like until like this, we that scene with the reporter and all that, like until stuff like churches started burning down, like I don't think America had any idea this stuff was going on. Like that news
Right.
did hit America, and like you get a little bit of taste of that with some of the news clips and stuff, but like those news stories did cause people in the States to like actually try and seek out this stuff and mail order it, which is
Okay.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
like-
But
'Cause,
yeah, like I said
you know-
earlier, it rang a bell. I remembered this. I didn't try to get the album, but I do remember, very vaguely that this was a thing that was going on.
Yeah.
yeah, because Norway's not a big play, right? They're Norwegian.
Yeah. It was probably
Uh.
like less than 10 million at that time. I'm just ballparking. Like I have no idea. It was not a big place.
Right. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, like obviously not everybody in the country is buying this album. Probably not everybody who even buys album is buying this album. It's
Well,
a very
dude, it
niche group of people. They don't
showed the
do
case.
fucking live shows. Like, how many people realistically know this band is putting out music? It's gotta be like less than 1,000 people.
Dude, well, okay, just to give some perspective, like the Burzum shirt I'm currently wearing, I bought this at a store called Rock Shop in Vancouver, British Columbia, like in like I don't know, maybe like 2009 or something, and it was like
Yeah.
prominently hanging up on the wall. like you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
like it became a known entity. It's like the
Well,
the
yeah,
NWA.
today.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like 1980, whatever this was. Realistically, how many albums are they selling?
Dude, well,
I
how
get
much
Dean's
but-
point. He was very much, "Where's my money?" But
Yeah.
It's like,
what money?
But
They
what do you
sold 50 copies to the guys down the street.
but also
Their
but
village
also,
is very little. I mean, they show it all the time.
but what do you think a full day of studio time in Norway in 1988 cost anyway? Like $200. Like they probably, like give me my $200 back is what he's really trying to say, Dean. You probably read it too much
Right.
into it. But yeah, they go to burn down a less ancient church, and Varg has a bomb this time, which is just like, okay, let's see how that works out. And this really stressed me out because like they go outside, wait for the clock,
Yeah,
and it
this-
doesn't go off, and he just rushes right
they
back
just
in,
walk back in. Jesus,
play with the
Christ.
bomb.
Yeah, I thought something real bad was going to happen here.
Same.
Yeah, yeah, and they just do it the old-fashioned way and light up a few hymn books or something. But
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, yeah, and it's on the news again. I was trying to do a mental calculation of how many churches go down in the movie, and I think it's like 4 or 5. I don't know, something like that. But they get a little off the rails. And here's one of their I think this guy works at the record store. He's sort of like one of their like fanboys who follows them around, and it shows him having like like they sort of imply that this older gay guy's hitting on him, and like and due to his this young man's homophobic worldview, he commits a horrific act of violence and leads this old guy outside a bit and like stabs him, and it's pretty graphic kill once again. Like, it's really drawn out, and like there's a few stages to the conflict, but like I just find all the murder and like violence in this movie like feels really grounded and plausible, and like it's I don't know, man. I found it genuinely unsettling, a lot of these kills. I'm gonna be honest,
Very much.
this is a thing that is absolutely true and did happen very much as depicted here. And these guys, there's a lot of them just watching the news of their misdeeds in the record store, and collecting street cred points for just being crazy maniacs and murderers and arsonists. And this guy was not really, he wasn't part of the mayhem or Burzum, but he just wanted to fit in, So like, what else do you do? But commit a horrific murder and then go tell your friends that you did it.
Yeah. Seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was a really ugly scene where stabbing
Yeah.
that dude to death.
yeah.
They've really drag out stabbings because like in some movies, they stab somebody once and they're dead, but this is like pretty visceral. Like, I mean, he must have stabbed this dude, I don't know, 100 times.
Yeah.
It's like, God,
And
this is brutal, and the dude's just fighting for his life.
I mean, I don't like what would I know about it, but it feels like realistic. It feels like it's a feeling I don't get when I'm like there's something about knowing it was a true story, and
Yeah,
just like I don't know, man. It all like this feels like very close to how it actually took place. And like there's the scene at the end, we'll get there. When that scene came up, I was like I had a flashback to remembering seeing the crime scene photos like 20 years earlier. I was like, they have done an incredibly accurate job presenting this. I guess they're going to burn down another church with the boys, as you do on a Saturday night. Uh, and
bro, you would think with all these church burnings, these
yeah.
churches would have some kind of security at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the one where you see like three dudes with flashlights chase them very briefly, maybe. Like I don't know, nothing much comes of it. But you can only get away with this sort of stuff for so long, right?
Yeah.
So there's a Euronymous wants to distance himself from these guys because they're admitting to they're confiding in him that they've killed people. They just can't stop burning churches. So he wants to sort of split off a little bit and do his own thing. So he gets his photographer girlfriend to take him some sweet new headshots out at the ye old castle. And
Shots.
yeah, and they have an awesome love scene with the black metal makeup on and cigarettes. It's just wholesome stuff. And he
We
has
know
a
what Chris is
nightmare.
doing later tonight.
Yeah, well, it's like let's see what time we get done, boys. But I love this nightmare scene where it's like this is beautiful. This is creative license, but just he's back in the woods with his old buddy dead. He's looking for him in the woods. He kills his friend who killed himself, and then you get this like jump scare of him like doing that, and yeah, it's like why could he? It's just enough creative license where it's like a true story, but like you could see this happening. It's relatively credible that he talked about this whole situation a lot, and why wouldn't you? And
Yeah. This
go ahead.
this is kind of going back to the scene where Dead actually commits suicide, and how I said that carries the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Because in this scene when they're together, she's like, "You really miss him, don't you?" And he's like, "No," like, trying to be cool or whatever. And then he has that kind of dream sequence, and to me, it read like he never got over that trauma as much as he wanted to, and was like taking pictures. It was almost like he was forcing himself to like it.
Yeah.
And then now that he sees what his friends are doing, burning down churches and murder, it comes back to haunt him even more. Like, I've kind of set all this in motion by not really accepting that my friend murdered himself.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, it's like his character really takes a turn at this moment, reliving that it's like, this is fucking evil.
Yeah, and
Like,
it compounds a little bit. Like, he's trying to finish the new Mayhem record, and he's got Varg from Burzum playing bass because he just wanted to like sap some of that Burzum energy and ride the wave a little bit. But they start talking about wanting to burn down like the biggest cathedral in Norway or something, and Varg is just
yeah.
like, we're posers if we don't do this. What's the whole point? Like, and it's like it's like a brick castle basically. It's not like burning down one of these like tinder boxes that these guys have been doing in the woods. That's a miracle it's still there in the first place. So he's like, yeah, that's unhinged. I'm probably not gonna try to blow up a real building. But you get a little taste of them in the studio there. And I love how it's like you like this movie, and then you have Euronymous like literally doing like using a typewriter at home because it's like 1990 or something in Norway, and it's like there's no shot this guy's getting an early Windows 3.1 word processor or something. It's just not gonna happen.
An Apple II.
Yeah, he's got his Mayhem letterhead and his typewriter. It's good stuff. But yeah, I think after they record that record, he tells Varg that they just sort of, if Varg's like, I'm going to the press, we need to really make a name for ourselves. Not enough people are hearing about this, not enough selling. So he says he's going to call the press. And this is good stuff. He puts up some like a Nazi flag and like extra like skulls and like goat horns and stuff, and he's trying to make his apartment look real evil. He's got the black curtains from Walmart up there, and he's trying to deck the place out and put axes and things on the walls so that the reporters get really scared when they come around and talk to him. And this is just a lovely little shot where like Varg's goon here sees that the reporters take off their shoes before entering the apartment of evil. Keep no shoes, please. And yeah, so this reporter shows up with his photographer, start interviewing Varg, and like he immediately slips up and like basically admits to the burning the churches and like. And this guy's great.
Yeah, and the
reporter.
murder.
Yeah, he's like, one of our friends committed a murder. We know about that, and like he gets his picture taken, and I love how they just get him to pose all evil like, and they're like, yeah, that's good stuff. Light the picture of the church on fire, and like,
right? He's handing them the different knives, like, try this one.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, this was such a beautiful moment for me because these guys are surrounded by people who love them, right? That they could do no wrong. And so they have this kind of real cocky attitude about themselves that like, oh, we know what's going on, right? And so this journalist shows up and he's like, well, what's your goal? And he's like, fuck Christianity, we're Satanists, they're oppressing us. And then the journalist is like, okay, well, what's your goal? He's like, we need to go back to our roots, to Odin. And then the journalist is like, so you're Satanists, but you want to worship Odin?
And you're also Nazis.
And you're Nazis,
And you're also Nazis? And then you could see that he's like, oh, I've never had to explain myself to anybody. I've never actually had I've never had anyone challenge me in this way. And you could see a shift in his attitude, because when they come in, he's like, yeah, I'm fucking cool. And then when he actually gets pushed, he's like, no, we killed the guy. And it's like, yeah, you fucking piece of shit. You finally see that you are a fucking poser. You claim to fucking hate posers. You could burn down all the churches you want, but you still, at the end of the day, are a fucking poser because you don't even know what you fucking stand for. I love this scene so much.
Yeah.
And when the journalists walk out of the building, they're like, "What a fucking idiot!" And it's like, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. These guys are fucking stupid. Oh,
then-
it was beautiful.
And then there he is getting arrested like the next minute. It's good. Like it's so like it's literally like a smash cut to like him being hauled off in a squad car, police
Wait,
station.
real quick, I gotta do this
Yeah.
for JB. Oh yeah. It's been a long time since I've done that, JB. Holy shit.
Nice.
Okay, go on.
Okay. Yeah, let's check in with the chat real quick. We got Mr. Musashi JB in there. Dark Legion collectibles. A few random Korean. A few people have hopped in since we were looking at it. Appreciate you guys hanging out a little bit. You know, I know this is not everybody's cup of tea, but like I feel like once in a while you got to watch something that you have never seen before that's kind of fun. And like I just like this was such a core part of my like like the legend of this stuff was such a core part of my like early exposure to music that it's like I couldn't believe there was a movie about all this. But yeah, Manny Fresh
Honestly,
wants the wow.
I can't believe how well done this movie is. It's so good. Like, it
Dude,
really
Vice used to be cool. I'm telling you, man. Like they for a short window they knew what was up. But
Bro, 2015, I think that's when it came out, 2015?
18, yeah.
Oh, 2018. It was like, that's when like the dark timeline started to branch.
Yeah, pretty much. It's around there. Yeah, but but yeah, like you know, there he is on the cover of the newspaper with his with his one eye showing and the two blades. But yeah, he pretty much apparently there's not enough evidence to actually charge him with anything, and he gets let out like right away.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, you could
but-
admit to everything on the planet, but if there's no fingerprints, there's nothing other than him saying I did it. It's like you could claim you saw an alien, doesn't mean you did. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they really did have nothing on these guys.
Yeah, and basically, you know, the while Varg is in jail, Euronymous has a phone call with Kerrang magazine, and like he gets to basically sort of usurp the story and like sort of tell everything from his perspective, and like it's not an understatement to say that magazine interview really sort of explained to the Western audience like what this whole black metal thing was, and like he really sort of took over the perspective at that point, and you see the little bit of the interaction here where Varg is not so impressed that Euronymous sort of told the story from his perspective, and that's very I mean that might be the actual magazine because that's not the same picture from the previous shot. I don't know if they used the real thing there or not, but like it's very much what it looks like, and that sort of got the legend of all this nonsense building.
It might
says,
be
"All right."
because that really doesn't look like him.
Yeah, I think that could be the genuine article there. Probably an expensive piece on eBay if I had to guess. But it's arson, death, and satanic rituals: the ugly truth about black metal. And Euronymous' girlfriend is not so into everything that's going on lately. You know, she's like, you guys usually just chill and focus on your music and stop worrying about what Varg is up to all the time. You know, sound advice that is not heeded, basically. But well, maybe it is because he writes up this letter saying, you know, I'm going to license you back all your music. We'll officially end any deals we have, and you just sign this contract and give it back to me, and we'll part ways, and you own all the stuff you produced with me.
Which
Oh, yeah,
is very
beautiful.
generous, by the way.
Yeah, beautiful typewriter shot there. You know, red
It is
typewriter.
generous, but when the guy's admitting to murder and all this stuff, whatever it takes to get him to go away.
You're
There
not
it is.
wrong. But I mean, he's complicit in it as well. I mean,
Well, he didn't actually kill anybody. I mean, he
no,
did a
but he
few
burned
gross
down
things.
a couple churches.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, and he's also cultivating this behavior,
Yeah.
right? He wants it to happen. Well, I don't know if he wants it to happen, but he's definitely not condoning it, or not condoning it. He's definitely not. What's the word?
He definitely likes the
condemning.
idea of it. Right?
He's encouraging.
He just doesn't want to do it himself.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, this is Varg's face when he sees that letter. He's like, "Yeah, what's all this about? Like this. I don't trust this guy." And there's rumors spreading that Uranus wants to kill Varg, and tase him, and then make a snuff film or something like that.
Right. Which is like, when you're
Well,
afraid
because
of something
he told that to
stupid.
the other guy, right? He told that to the guy that ends up driving Varg to his house, right? He tells him because he's
Yeah.
got the taser.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll move it along here. It's just the ending is
wait.
like pretty fun. What's up,
Really,
dude?
really quick, really fun. What the hell? The scene where him and Varg are at the little table talking about the magazine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right here. He gives back the necklace with the bone fragment,
Yeah.
and Euronymous says it's just chicken bone.
Yeah.
Is he saying that so Varg thinks that he's a poser? Like, oh, I'm actually just fake this whole time? Or I didn't understand or has he been
Okay.
lying the whole time?
Okay, so there's the implication is that he's been lying the whole time. There's another flashback where you see him over Dead's body in the house, and he's like he's like crying, and he's a lot more traumatized than what you saw in the first depiction of the scene. They're kind of trying to they're trying to show that like he's a little bit more normal than he's been letting on, and like it is chicken bones, and he was actually pretty messed up by seeing his friend's skull blown over the place.
That's
Yeah.
That's how I viewed it.
Yeah.
Because like I said from the very beginning, that scene carries everything else that follows, that he never dealt with the trauma. But also at this point, he's like, I need to get the fuck away from these guys. So I also was kind of like, I think he might just be lying about the chicken bone to make this dude think he's a poser. But
I'm pretty sure that's accurate because that it's chicken bone, because I think that would have there'd be recorded legal implications of that if it turned out to have actually been the guy's skull. I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was not the case. But he cuts he cuts his hair off. He's having another nightmare about Dead, and Varg's on a mission with his goon. This is so great. They can't even like not use a credit card for like 5 minutes. They're trying to drive across all of Norway, which probably takes 2 hours to drive across all of Norway. I don't know. And yeah, man, it's unhinged. Varg shows up at his house in the middle of the night, calls him up, and
finds him looking like a normie.
he stabs our boy.
yeah,
Yeah, he
this
does.
was crazy brutal.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy watching this
No.
because these aren't good guys, right? Like objectively, they're pretty terrible people.
Yeah.
But you could see that Euronymous was like, I need to change, right? He even cut his hair.
Yeah.
He's dressing differently. He's behaving differently. He's trying to do right. He's fallen in love with this girl. She's kind of convincing him like, hey, you need to kind of stop doing this kind of stuff. And so you're kind of rooting for the guy. Like, okay, like at least he sees where he's gone wrong. He's admitted to himself that, he's been through some traumatic shit. And he's, hey, I'm going to give you all your music back. You go do your own thing. I still, I don't have any ill will. Like, you don't like me. That's fine. Here's your music, which again, in the music world's pretty generous, right? And so when this happens, you're just like, no, like the one guy trying to get out and do good or do better. I don't know about do good. And for me, I was like, well, he's narrating the movie. Surely something's going to happen. Like someone's going to intervene. And it's just the most brutal, visceral, just like unrelenting assault on this guy that I was just like, with every stab, I was like, okay, it's probably not gonna end well. But again, he's narrating the movie, so it's like, well, that'd be weird if he was
Well, Dean, at the
dead in
beginning of the
there.
movie, at the beginning of the movie, it has the last line of the opening narration is, "This is my story, and it will not end well."
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Which
And
I
there's-
mean, that could mean
yeah.
anything, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. And here's Varg. Varg, as we remember, Varg doesn't drink, so he mixes himself up with chocolate milk or something in mid murder. It's just as you
you know,
do.
what a fucking
Yeah.
psychopath.
Yeah. But when I saw this scene though, I'm like, I know I've seen some police photography of this stairwell like back in the day, man. I was like, I don't know if they found the exact place or it's just close enough, but like this was crazy. This is like core memory unlocked. Like I don't know like where I saw it, but early internet black metal website or something, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. And just the it's just horrific stuff, man. And
Yeah.
Euronymous don't make it.
When,
Yeah,
when
I
he
thought-
takes the blade into the skull, I literally had to look away.
Yeah.
was a
Yeah,
little
that
much.
was kind of the again, I was like, okay, he's gonna think he's dead, but he's gonna cling on. And he's gonna turn this guy in right when he gets out of the hospital or whatever. And then he stabs him in the fucking forehead. And I was like, oh no, he's dead. Like
Yeah.
he's 100% dead.
And
And
can I
then-
say and can I say
yeah.
that stab is factually accurate to the real
Yeah.
incident. Yeah.
And it, like to the point where he's struggling to get the knife out of his skull. So I was like, oh, that's in there pretty good. Like it's not like, a surface level wound. It's like
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this guy's toast. I felt bad. I felt really bad watching this scene.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you're supposed to feel good. I think it's supposed to
No,
be
I mean
bad.
there's nothing, it's like it's almost like when you see horrible things happen to morally ambiguous people, it's still sad. It's crazy how that works.
yeah.
But yeah, you get the police mopping it up a little bit, and these couple of idiots like cannot handle a police interrogation whatsoever. They're just like
Yeah.
immediate.
This, along with the scene with the journalists and this scene in particular, really reminds you that these are children. Like at the end of the day, I mean, they might be like over 18, but I mean, when the story starts, they're what, 15, 16?
Yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah.
they might be pushing 20.
I think
the
Varg.
end?
I think when Varg goes to jail here at the end, he's like 21 or 22.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they're still children. Like
Still a kid. Yeah.
yeah, 21 years old, like that. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing now, much less 21 years old. You think you're invincible, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is like very, very sad.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it plays out. You see a memorial to Euronymous there, where they put a satanic pentagram and candles on the roadside, and little pictures taped up and stuff. And you get this last little bit of narration from him saying, like, I don't be sad for me. I started a musical genre, had a record store and a label, and what have you done lately? And that's the end of the
Yeah.
movie.
The
Yeah.
end of the movie, yeah, that was a nice little
Yeah,
like,
and
hey, I might be dead and died in a brutal way, but I left a mark, and it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, it's
And
still
this-
incredibly sad.
yeah, and this is a real picture of the two guys here at the end. Yeah. Although you can barely tell with that.
Is that
with
the
getup.
first guy dead?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's probably like, I mean, they probably were only they hanging out together for like a couple months. Like by the way it's painted out in the movie, like it probably wasn't a very long period of time. But yeah, so I don't have that's pretty much it. I don't have a ton of behind the scenes stuff. I just wanted to like there's a predator from that don't belong there.
What the hell?
So
No
there's not
aliens
collectibles
the whole
from this
no,
film?
no, there's not a lot of collectibles. let's hit our our vaguely classy Thomas designed final verdict marker. This like I was so happy with this. Like I don't care what anybody says. Like I discovered this movie and then told these two guys to watch it because I was so moved by it. So this is a 5 out of 5 for me for sure. What about you, Mike?
I probably land at about a 3. Like I said at the beginning, a well done film, undeniably, but I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like
Ah,
everything Dee
that's
was
good.
saying, right? I mean, in terms of like, there's just so much unsettling stuff, right? It's not an
Right.
easy watch. And I can't imagine wanting to sitting down and say, you know what? I feel like maybe I'll watch Lords of Chaos tonight. I don't imagine I'll
Yeah.
ever get that feeling. But again,
Okay.
I don't want to knock what the film is because it was very well done.
That's crazy. Like
So yeah, I'd land on a 3.
I just want to like analyze what you just said there a little bit. Like you're saying like you have a valid perspective, Mike. I understand. But like you're saying that it's losing points because of how unsettling you found some of the scenes or because like that's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah, I
I want
guess
to
it comes down to like to the joy of it, right? So it goes to the
yeah.
same reason why I don't watch horror films. I don't get enjoyment out of them. You're right, like Dean was saying. I don't want to be
Okay.
scared. It's not for me something that I seek, right? I go to movies for escapism most of the time, have fun.
Right.
This doesn't do that. Again, I can appreciate the film, but I'm not going to ever want to sit down and watch it again. I am glad I've seen it,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we've done this and got to talk to you about it, who knows more about it than just what it was. Like I said, it really did spark, to me towards the end that fuck, this sounds really familiar. And again, like saying, I was born in '79, so I grew up with the music in the '80s and stuff,
Yeah.
and into early '90s. So this genre of music, when it was hitting over here big, was when I was kind of really getting into music. So I'm familiar with this. I mean, I could still picture the lunch table in high school that had the kids that were dressed like the death metal bands. You know what I mean? Like, and again, we're not talking like Dean said, the punk and the emo guys, but the hardcore death metal. There was 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, I went to a big school. I could still picture them, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" But like I said, it rang familiar, and when I looked it up and saw that it was true, that era of my life kind of came rushing back to me, and the suicide scene was a big deal. Like Dean had said, it was super unsettling. And even though I didn't know these guys, the whole time I'm watching that, I'm just picturing like Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, doing essentially, the same thing. And that scene hits home, but
Yeah.
again, all well done, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
I
It's not
love
something
that.
I
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's like that makes it me feel like it's even better. But Dean, where are you at, man? What's going on?
I'm similar with Mike. As an experience, I'm at a 5 out of 5. Like this
Nice.
was a really solid watch. It was I love true crime. Again, my dad was a cop growing up, so like I've kind of lived and breathed, crime scenes, and I've been at a couple crime scenes, and um I love listening to podcasts about, real true murders and stuff, and how they're solved and why things happen. So seeing it and understanding the events and how they occurred was incredible. 5 out of 5.
That's
As a
awesome.
movie,
Yeah.
as a movie, I'm with Mike. I'm okay if I never watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Um, I've experienced it, and it was, fine. So yeah, I guess I'm more at like a 4 out of 5. I would definitely recommend somebody watch it, or like if I like told my mom she should watch it and she wanted to watch it with me, I would, but I wouldn't like volunteer myself to watch it. You know what I mean?
I get it. I am on a little bit of a different end of the spectrum. Like I watched it and then watched it again like within a week with a couple different people because I was just like, this is like it explains it explains like that whole subgenre very well, and just that like I mean it changed a lot after this. It got a little more commercial, after this. Like the guy,
Yeah.
this group of dudes, like they're all like the ones who are still alive, or they're all like in their early 50s now, and like there's a few bands that started around the same time that are still going, like Dimmu Borgir and like Immortal, and like Mayhem still exists actually and still puts out music, because a few of their other members were like, well, we can't, now that all this chaos went down, we can't drop the ball. We'll try and keep this rolling a little bit. So a few of those guys
Wow.
are still, that band does still exist. And then you have Varg himself, who went to jail for a real long time and is now out. And it's weird. I was desperately trying to find it, but like there was like I follow a lot of like meme pages on Instagram, as cultured people do, right? And like this was just a generic meme page, and I saw it within the week I first watched this movie, and it was just a screenshot of a comment section on a post, and it said Varg Vikernes, which is the guy's name. So he's out of jail now, and he's just vlogging and talking crazy shit, right? And like it was somebody asking him what pop music he likes, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, I guess Taylor Swift's not bad. And it was just, that was the only exchange, and it was just on this like savage meme page, and it's not even that funny, but it's like you have to like Google his name, look up who he is to like find out why it's funny that he's saying Taylor Swift is kind of cool. But like, he's been out of jail for a while. Like I think he was in jail for like 20 years ish, and like he was putting out like weird like synth Burzum records from jail, and like now he's just out like being a crazy vlogger, kind of like how OJ was for a while there after he got out of jail.
Uh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
he's
man.
God. How old is he now?
They're 51 or something. Yeah.
That's crazy
Something
that
like
he's out.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
but he did.
do
He
you
did
know
the full
exactly what he
sentence.
was? Do you know
No.
what he was convicted of?
Well, I mean, it's pretty. I don't know what the Norwegian equivalent of first degree murder is, but it's pretty meditated. I mean, drove
Yeah,
across
that's
the
what I was
country.
wondering if
Yeah.
they got him
Yeah.
for first degree. Did they get him for all the arson and all that stuff too?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the arson. You can watch the trial was actually filmed, and you can find that on YouTube and stuff. But the details are
Yeah.
escaping me. But yeah,
Yeah, because you could argue it's like, because he has witnesses that what's his name said he was gonna kill him and make a snuff film out of it. So it's like, oh, I went over there and things got heated and it was self defense. So
Right.
I imagine they would go that route. That if I was on trial, that's what I would do. Um, so yeah, 20 years doesn't seem like a long time for fucking murdering somebody, but what do I know? That's crazy that he's
yeah.
still out and still doing stuff.
Well, I mean, and like from his perspective, Euronymous threatened to kill him, and he went over to confront him about that, and things escalated. So like he to this day views it as a self-defense situation. But
And only him and Euronymous know what really happened,
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
like
so yeah, who do you believe?
I mean, yeah, there's you can really go down the rabbit hole. Obviously, this is a fictionalized depiction of the events, but like from everything I've like ever read about it, it seems incredibly accurate.
Do you,
We have a go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you know if he I mean, I guess if he views it as self defense, I would imagine that there's no like remorse. But I was just wondering how he like feels
Yeah.
about it. Like I regret that my friend is dead or you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever said anything like that, but he did tons of interviews from jail. There's a great documentary. I think it came out in like 2006 called like Metal Headbanger's Journey, and it's just a documentary about like all the subgenres of metal, and like this is from like 2006, and like Varg is interviewed from jail in this documentary talking about the church burnings and stuff. And just that legend was just built over time, and like he did give a good interview, I must say. But there's the real Burzum record with the remains of the burnt church on there. Here's the actual picture of Varg, which is they got it like exactly right in the movie with the weird mace and all that. Here's a slightly cleaner version of Euronymous and Dead there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this movie, guys. Anything else you guys wanted to add? Excited for
Uh
Halloween? What's good?
Definitely watch this movie if you haven't. I mean, if you sat through all of us talking about it, it kind of spoiled it. But
You kind of know
it's
what's
also a
up.
true story, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely an experience. Great recommendation, honestly.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Like, I'm glad, even if you never watch it again, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I think anything from you, Mike, before we move on here to the Patreonies?
No, like you said, it's not something I would have seeked out on my own. And not only just watching it, but getting to talk with you about it was definitely a good experience. So yeah, again, I don't know if I'm recommending it to anybody unless they're interested in that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to recommend it to my wife to sit down and watch it. But if I know somebody that's into the metal music and stuff, I would certainly bring this up as a point of conversation.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I feel like I didn't fail you guys, so I'm happy about that. Luckily Zach will never make it to this late in the show, but I think this Patreon slide might be out of date, but I'm gonna read it anyways. And we have over here Captain Fordo, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, David Jones, Sam Gist, and Thomas Clark, Eric Schweitzer, Six Guns Figs, Badfish, Luke Skywalker, Griffin Campbell, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Big Fern, Caesar American, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Jose CZ, Tukathri Wah, Aries Portillo, Alvin J, Aurelius Delgado, Toy Cartel, Sean Forrester, Harry Dempsey, and Joe Corpus, Sixth Scale Collector, Jared Gagne, Alberto Cortez, Big Rib, The Big Donk, Trevor Weed, Darren Ilderton, Don Matan, Stephen Percha, Sean Yotzi, Stephen Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Exodus, Abe Dunk TV, and Gigi the Judgmental. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you guys want to join the Patreon, you got the hot seat for $5 a month. You get all the digital benefits, and including a massive back catalog of episodes of After Dark, which is live every Wednesday night, but eventually it disappears. And if you're joined at the Sweet Angel or above, you get stickers sent to you every other month. What's going on with what are the Patreonies getting right now? Because I don't think I have an updated slide. Dean, do you know what the deal is for stickers at the moment?
I don't remember.
That's great. If you don't
Bad
remember,
at
then
this. I don't
if you don't
remember.
remember, Dean, then I don't have to know. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, then and here's our YouTube channel members. But you will get stickers. I don't know what they are. You will get them. It's probably a Laboo Bros or something like that. Which like, hopefully that craze is
I think it
oh
is.
yeah, it's over. We survived it, boys. But our
It's not over.
YouTube
It's just
channel
getting
members are
worse.
12-inch Moose Dream, Absolute Irwin, Alex Black, Aurelius Delgado, Aaron Salazar, Aaron Broverman, Ben Thomas, Big Rib, Bob Dylan, Chris Valencerina, Clinton Martin, CT603, DJ, Eddie Money Mendez, Gare Bear, Hodor, Mike's Adventure World, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Card, Jazzy, King Dingling, Luke Skywalker, LV Avenger 702, Figure in a Bubble, Mr. Sketch, OG Fan, 1/6 Figure Focus, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Sam Gist, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Trevor Weed, and Universal Key. Thanks so much for being YouTube channel members there, guys. And we'll take a quick look at the network. You get just like CW Movie Night, if you're lucky, you get a OFAC episode once every full moon. And then you have the Collecting Weekly live every Tuesday night. Small Talk every other Thursday. We're covering all your 1/12 and smaller figure news. And After Dark live every Wednesday night. And that's pretty much it. This was a joy talking with you guys about this. I hope we figure out something else to cover. It was good bringing back the old movie night branding for a tour here. And I'm glad you guys humored me and watched this nonsense movie that has some wild visceral kills. And I don't know, man. I feel like it was just a part of my youth, and it's great to see it presented in a cinematic form. So I'm here for it.
I'm happy to see you presented in this cinematic form tonight. So shout
Yeah,
out to Chris for really playing the part tonight.
Dude, I had 10 minutes to do it. It's about the quality that you see in the film, so I'm happy. It's good.
Well,
They're pretty lazy about it, dude. They're pretty lazy about it.
I don't know. It was pretty good enough.
Oh, called out. All right, dudes. Have a good night. Happy Halloween. If I don't talk to you, and watch some Friday the 13th. See ya.
Bye.